Offering in the pines. The forest was not on the map. At least, not on any map Ethan could find. "It's here," Daniel insisted, zooming into a blurry satellite image on his phone. "See that gap? That's the trail." "That's not a trail," Mira said quietly. "That's a shadow." They were 4 hours into northern wilderness, somewhere beyond the last signal bar, past the final wooden sign that read, "No services beyond this point." Ethan hadn't wanted to come. This trip was Daniel's idea, his way of honoring Raghav. Raghav had died 3 months ago. Fell from a ridge during a solo hike. That's what the police report said. Slipped on wet stone. Instant death. But none of them believed that. Raghav had been the strongest of them. The one who laughed at fear. And now they were walking into the same wilderness he'd loved, carrying his ashes in a dented silver urn in Daniel's backpack. The plan was simple. Hike through the Black Hollow forest, reach Raven's Peak, scatter the ashes at sunrise. 3 days in, 3 days out. Closure. But the forest didn't feel like something that offered closure. It felt like something that swallowed it. Day 1. The trees grew too close together. Not naturally close, crowded, like they'd leaned inward over decades, conspiring. Pine needles carpeted the ground in thick silence. Even their footsteps seemed muted. No birds, no insects, no wind, just the slow rhythm of breath and boots. Mira was the first to notice the smell. "Do you guys smell that?" Ethan inhaled. Rot. Not fresh decay, old rot, like something had died long ago, but refused to disappear. They found it 20 minutes later, a deer, hung between 2 trees, not by rope, by its antlers. The animal's body dangled unnaturally upright, ribs split open with surgical precision. Its organs had been removed. Its empty chest cavity faced east. Ethan's stomach twisted. Okay, that's not a predator. Daniel stepped closer. Maybe hunters? "No cuts from a blade," Mira said, kneeling carefully. "Look at the bones. They're cracked, like they were pulled apart. From the inside." No one said it. They didn't need to. They left quickly. The trail marker Daniel had shown them on his phone never appeared. Night 1. They camped in a small clearing ringed by twisted trunks. Ethan couldn't sleep. The silence pressed too hard against his ears. Around 2:17 a.m., something changed. The air shifted, not colder, thicker. He opened his eyes. The trees beyond the clearing were no longer still. They were bending. Not in wind, there was none. They were leaning toward the camp. He sat up slowly. Across the fire pit, Daniel was standing, barefoot, facing the forest. "Daniel," Ethan whispered. Daniel didn't respond. He took a step forward, then another, as if answering something only he could hear. Ethan lunged up and grabbed his shoulder. Daniel screamed. Not startled, terrified. He collapsed backward, eyes wide. "What the hell?" Daniel gasped. "You were walking into the trees." "No, I wasn't." "You were." Mira and Arjun scrambled from their tents. Daniel's hands were shaking. "I was dreaming," he muttered. "Raghav was calling me." Silence swallowed them again. But Ethan knew something. The trees had straightened the moment Daniel woke. Day 2. They were lost, completely. The compass spun slowly, never settling. GPS showed them moving in circles, even when they walked straight. At noon, they found the stones. A ring of blackened rocks, half buried in moss. At the center stood a wooden effigy, 8 feet tall, carved from a single trunk. It had no face, only a vertical slit where a mouth should be. Its arms were too long, its torso split open down the middle, like bark peeled apart. Inside the hollow chest cavity, bones, human bones. Ethan stepped back. We need to leave. Now. Mira's gaze was locked on the effigy. This isn't old. The wood was fresh. Sap still bled from the carving. Daniel approached the urn in his backpack like it was suddenly heavier. You think this is connected to Raghav? Arjun shook his head too quickly. No, that's insane. A cracking sound echoed from the forest. Not branches snapping, something heavier, deliberate, moving. They ran. The cabin. They didn't see it until they nearly crashed into it. An old wooden structure buried deep between the trees. No windows, just a door carved with the same vertical slit symbol. It's shelter, Arjun said breathlessly. It's a trap, Mira replied. Another crack echoed, closer now. Daniel shoved the door open. Inside was dry, dark. The air smelled of smoke and iron. Symbols were carved into the walls, variations of the slit shape. In the center of the room stood another effigy, smaller, and this one had a face, Raghav's face. Ethan's blood ran cold. It wasn't perfect, but it was close enough. The same crooked nose, the same faint scar above the eyebrow, carved into wood. Daniel staggered backward. This is sick. Someone is messing with us, Mira whispered. From outside, a low, vibrating hum. Not an animal, not wind. A sound that seemed to press against the cabin walls. The door shuddered. Something massive moved outside. Arjun peered through a crack in the boards, then froze. What do you see? Ethan asked. Arjun's voice came out hollow. It's standing. What is? He stepped back slowly. It's wrong. The door exploded inward. The thing in the pines. It did not rush them. It unfolded. That was the only word Ethan could find later. Unfolded from the dark, like something peeling itself out of the trees. It was tall, too tall, at least 15 feet. Its limbs bent in places limbs shouldn't bend. Its torso was hollow, like the effigies, split open vertically. Inside its chest cavity were bones, skulls, dozens, and from within that cavity came the humming. Its head resembled a stag's skull, but elongated, warped, empty eye sockets. And yet Ethan felt seen. Arjun screamed and bolted. The creature moved faster than something that size should. One step. It crossed half the clearing. A long arm shot forward. Not grabbing, touching. 2 fingers pressed against Arjun's forehead. Arjun froze mid-stride. His body lifted slowly into the air. No struggle, no sound. His spine bent backward unnaturally. There was a crack, like a tree splitting in winter. Arjun's body went limp. The creature opened its chest cavity wider. Bones shifted inside. Arjun's body folded inward, drawn into that hollow space. The humming deepened. Daniel dropped to his knees. No, this is my fault. The creature turned its skull face toward him and bowed. The truth. It did not kill Daniel. It knelt before him. Ethan stared in disbelief. Daniel's breathing grew shallow. It wants something, he whispered. Mira's eyes darted to the urn, the ashes. Daniel slowly removed the urn from his backpack. The creature's humming softened. Ethan's heart pounded. Don't. Daniel stepped forward. You don't understand, he said hoarsely. Raghav didn't fall. The forest seemed to lean closer to hear him. He found this place last year. He told me about a presence, a guardian, an ancient thing. Mira's face drained of color. You knew? He said it offered protection, strength, purpose. Daniel's voice cracked. It asked for devotion. The creature lowered its head. Ethan felt rage explode in his chest. You brought us here as an offering? Tears streamed down Daniel's face. I thought if we brought Raghav back to it, it would leave us alone. Mira lunged for Daniel, but the creature's limbs struck the ground between them, not hitting, warning. Daniel opened the urn. Ash drifted into the air. The creature inhaled. The ashes streamed toward its hollow chest, like smoke drawn into a vacuum. The humming became almost melodic. The trees shuddered. For a moment, everything stilled. Then the creature extended one long arm toward Daniel, an invitation. Daniel stepped forward willingly. We have to go. Daniel placed his hand against the creature's chest cavity. The slit widened, and he smiled. Not in fear, in relief. The bones shifted to make space. Daniel stepped inside. The slit closed. The creature straightened. Now taller, now fuller. Ethan realized something horrifying. The skulls inside weren't trophies. They were faces, frozen in silent devotion. The creature turned away from them and walked back into the trees. The forest swallowed it. The humming faded. Silence returned. Dawn. Ethan and Mira stumbled out of Black Hollow at sunrise. No signs marked the forest edge. No trail indicated an entrance. Just open land. As if the trees had rearranged themselves. Rescue teams found them hours later, dehydrated and shaking. They told the authorities everything. Team ever found the cabin. No effigies, no bodies. The official report listed Arjun and Daniel as missing, presumed dead. Months passed. Ethan tried to forget, but sometimes, late at night, he heard it. A low hum beneath the silence. And once, in the reflection of his dark bedroom window, he saw something tall standing behind him. Not threatening, waiting. And in its hollow chest, he thought he saw Daniel's face, smiling. The forest is not on any map, but sometimes, if you walk far enough into the pines, you might find something waiting. And if it bows to you, run.